Welcome to Geek Stance, the show where the reasons why we love it just might be the reasons why you hate it. Today we're going to be having a debate, an actual debate between Team Stark. Don't let the Captain America shirt fool you. And Team Captain America, which I'm already a little bit confused about this.
Go Cap!
With the movie coming out next week, we wanted to have a debate to argue the sides. When it comes to Civil War, and it comes to superheroes deciding whose side they're going to be on, we just want to know like some insight into that. So we're going to start this off with an open-ended question of, when it comes to the citizens, just the regular civilians, whose side do you think they will be more likely to lean to?
Definitely Iron Man's.
And why do you say that?
Well, for starters, he wants to make the world safe by having the superheroes controlled in some manner.
Controlled. And what do you mean by controlled? In which ways?
A single authority for them to report to.
Wow, so you think that the people are kind of fed up with superheroes destroying...
Yes.
I know I was watching Age of Ultron last night, and there was so much destruction. So what do you say about this, Team Cap?
So, I say that you're going to have people siding with Team Captain America because a lot of people can't trust government entities, whether they're tinfoil hat types or not.
Uh-huh.
A lot of people don't trust the government, whether it's our government, other countries' governments. People just don't trust the government. They feel like they're lying to them. Not telling them everything that they should, things like that. So I think they're going to side with Captain America because who better to regulate the superheroes than the superheroes? They know what they can do. They have that moral compass right now with Captain America. He knows not to go into, a country just to invade it, whereas if a government entity, they can be like, oh hey, go ahead and take care of this because they're quote unquote evil, and then they kind of have to because they're telling them to do that.
Now Captain, he's led teams before, and I guess in a way Tony Stark has too. So this is my question to Tony Stark here, Iron Man, is he's had some episodes of PTSD. Does that make him less qualified as a leader than maybe a Steve Rogers?
Well, you could flip the question on its head and recount some of the minor issues of Captain having PTSD too.
Oh, really?
Captain doesn't have PTSD.
He didn't have it in the first movie or
Nope.
the second?
Nope.
Okay.
But Stark's PTSD, I think that subsided in Age of Ultron.
You think he was just totally over it?
Yeah.
Doesn't have just nothing left from aliens?
Scarlet Witch's vision screwed with him a little bit, but after Iron Man 3, I think he was back to normal.
I would like to imagine that, the alien thing, it really freaked him out. I'd like to imagine, like, now that that's kind of all done and past, like, the world is kind of what it is right now, and maybe that is enough for him to just keep going. So what do you say, man? Do you think that... What are your opinions about Tony Stark being the leader?
I don't think Tony Stark has been the quote-unquote leader of the Avengers. Like, he's kind of led them, but he's never been the leader. It has been Captain America who has been the leader. He's the one that's taken the charge every time that they've gone in to the disaster area. Every mission they've gone on, he has taken the charge. Tony has done stuff, but he's not been the leader. He's not been the guy that they have gone to. And Cap, he's just like, he's done it. Like you said, he's done it before. He was the leader of the Howling Commandos. And he didn't lose anyone. Like, he only lost one person, and that was Bucky, who turned out he didn't lose him.
Yeah.
And they single-handedly took down the Red Skull with the Howling Commandos and pretty much turned the tide of World War II in the MCU. And then you see him coming back in the first Avengers movie, and he led that team. Like, he took charge. He told the civilians what to do. He told the cops what to do. He just led, and not even just the Avengers, but everyone, and just took complete charge of the entire situation, and saved countless people in that event.
So you mentioned World War II, and even some more current events. I think my biggest question for Captain America is he current enough? Like, yeah, like world wars, and that's awesome and stuff, but like, how about aliens? Is he current enough to be a leader in today's day and age?
I think he is, because you look at the stuff, like I said, in Avengers, and that was really his first outing in the modern times. And you look at the Winter Soldier, and what he did there. He led all of the missions basically that he was on.
Yeah.
Like the one where they had to go retake the SHIELD ship and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He led those missions.
There's no doubt that Captain America really he knows how to adapt. But when we go to Tony Stark, I don't even know if Tony Stark needs to adapt, because he's always ahead of the game. He sets the pace with his technology, with his creations. So, what do you have to say about that? Do you think Cap is, going to be an effective leader against everything that's going to unfold?
Well, Stark does have all the toys and all the firepower,
but those toys are pretty much cause the destruction of an entire country.
Yeah, which Tony will probably write that off somewhere, if he hasn't already.
So that's probably, see, when we talked earlier about like what side will the civilians take, I don't even know if Tony Stark right now, if he is like held at a higher standard as the rest of the group. Like, even though maybe Tony's in a sense representing them, I mean, Tony Stark kind of did create Ultron. He kind of created just a big mess in other parts of the world, and
if you want to be really, really technical, he was also the first one to be brought on board for the Avengers team.
Yeah, that's a good point.
He wasn't brought on for the Avengers. He was the first one that they looked at, but they did say that, yeah, you're not Avengers material.
Well,
if you remember
Iron Man
correctly.
is, and Tony Stark wasn't.
I think that's a good point you make, because they did go this Stark, because I just think of who he is as a person, and Nick Fury, I think he is a good judge of character, and I think Stark does have some leadership qualities, and so if he gets a group, I definitely think maybe he could lead.
So out of the question of it's really Team Iron Man versus Cap, not even Stark. So would Iron Man himself make a good Avengers leader, or a good leader? I think so, as long as he can separate everything that he's gone through in the Iron Man movies.
But Stark is Iron Man. When Stark was dealing with an issue, Iron Man was dealing with the same exact issue.
Yeah.
So it's Stark and Iron Man. They're the same person. Much like Captain America and Steve Rogers. They're the same person.
Why in the world would Fury want to separate the two then?
He didn't try separating the two.
Well, he said that Tony was unfit. He said that he could be brought on as a consultant.
If you remember, when they came to Tony in the original Avengers, they went to him not as Iron Man, but they went to him because they needed the brains. They needed someone to look at the data that they had and assess it and process it.
And that's the one thing that would harm Cap in leading in any kind of war against the aliens.
So
I don't think that'll be
so
an issue.
You mentioned Steve Rogers, Captain America, Iron Man, Tony Stark. It seems like with Captain, like, he doesn't have the problem of needing to separate Steve Rogers and Captain America. His like social life, his love life, or whatever, it's like kind of non-existing. But Tony Stark is like trying to PG-13.
No, Agent 13.
Agent 13.
The blonde that was his neighbor.
He was kind of into that.
Yeah.
Captain.
They were into each other.
He was. They were digging each other a little bit. But like with Tony Stark, he's trying to balance being Tony Stark and Iron Man right now, and I don't know if both can coexist.
I think we'll see the Iron Legion once again this time around. I definitely see that as a possibility. I don't think you got rid of him.
I don't think we'll see Iron Legion, not because of what happened with Ultron. Plus, I mean, he would have to rebuild it, which is nothing for him.
Exactly.
But the Iron Legion was destroyed in Ultron.
Well, think about this. The Iron Legion was also destroyed at the end of Iron Man 3.
That is a good point.
That wasn't the Iron Legion, though. That was just his Iron Man suits, because he was able to get in any single one of them.
And don't you think the Iron Legion suits had that capability, and they weren't drones?
They were drones.
You know what? I definitely think Tony, though, I think he always has a plan B, like the Hulkbuster suit. In the comics, he has the Thorbuster suits. I mean, Tony Stark, I think he's almost like Batman. He's always
Hugo.
He is.
He's richer than Batman.
Oh, that's a debate for another day.
Actually, Forbes confirmed it. The only two people that beat him were Scrooge McDuck and Smog.
Nothing beats Scrooge when he dives into the thing of money. That's classic. I'm gonna do that one day.
That is classic.
When I start making millions from these videos, I'm doing that.
Well, no, Scrooge McDuck's money, it was all gold coins, so that would hurt. You wouldn't be able to
from that distance. But I think we're a little bit off.
Or swim in it.
Another debate is Iron Man against whatever the heck you call that in the Batman versus Superman movie, the Iron Batman knockoff.
No, I think Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Is Tony Stark's credibility? I'm trying to believe in my head as a geek that if Tony Stark did not have money, that he would be as successful. He would still be a hero. I don't know, though. I think money made him a hero. So what happens if Stark tanks because of all this that's going on, and Tony is left without that? Is he still going to be a hero? Is he still going to be a leader?
He won't have his toys.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He'll still have his brain and everything. That's, not a byproduct of the money, really.
Yeah.
But all of his toys, he won't be able to make his, 48, 50 some suits that he did in Iron Man 3. He won't have any of that. So he'll still be able to tinker and stuff like that, but he won't be able to really make anything.
And it was 43 suits.
Ooh, boys, settle down. Settle down. So we have one last question here, and this is going to be, you both will have time to answer it. I'm going to bring it over to Joe. Why will Captain America's way prevail, in your opinion, in this movie?
I think it's going to prevail because you're going to find out that Zemo are behind. I think he's going to be behind the Sokovia Accords, which Baron Zemo, he is Hydra, and Crossbones. I can guarantee Zemo and Crossbones are working together. They were both Hydra. They both are Hydra. I think they're the ones that are getting or mainly Zemo is pulling the strings to have the Sokovia Accords.
Okay.
Accords signed.
So you're gonna be.
So it's gonna come to light that, hey, these were done under this pretense. How can we trust that anyone that was behind this isn't Hydra?
Yeah. So it's gonna look like in the public eye after everything unfolds that, man, Captain America was right all along.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's gonna be like what happened to S.H.I.E.L.D. in Winter Soldier. Okay. And Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. subsequently, where everyone thought that S.H.I.E.L.D. was the bad guy, and they still think that S.H.I.E.L.D.'s the bad guy. So I think you're gonna have that look to it.
So how about you? Same question. Why will Iron Man, Tony Stark, why will his way prevail in this movie?
Because I think he's actually got everything thought out. I mean, Tony has to be bringing something really good to the table to get Spider-Man on his side.
Spider-Man's just a young kid. He doesn't know any better. And if you remember correctly in the comics, Spider-Man switched sides to Captain America. Yeah. So that could very well happen in this, for all we know.
Whether or not he's a kid or not, he's a great mind.
Yes.
And he can be used. A great mind, he's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
He used the Iron Spider suit to hack into Stark tech. To hack Stark's technology.
Yeah, I mean, great. I mean, he's amazing. He's a great mind, and he is a superhero, super
Which
strength.
I'm wondering, would we see an Iron Spider suit in this movie?
I don't know. Who knows? I mean,
I don't think he will, mainly because he's too new. Like, he's too new to the MCU,
Yeah.
and in Civil War, he was Spider-Man for what, 10, probably at least 10 years by then, because he started being Spider-Man when he was 15. I don't know how old he was in Civil War, but he was a well-established superhero then. So him having the Iron Spider suit was like a big deal. Just like him revealing his identity was a major deal.
But this is something that just popped in my mind. What if he already has it?
yeah. I mean,
The lenses.
Then that's just going to confuse people.
Yeah.
who knows? There might be something that's in the works. Something that may come from this. I don't know who's if Spidey, if he's gonna really choose a side, flip flop. I guess that stuff will be revealed. But I think it's fair to say that there's gonna be a makeup moment at the end, like we talked about. There's gonna be bro hugs everywhere.
Hug it out.
I can't see them really like being at each other's throats by the time this movie's over. There's gonna be something that brings them back together.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to thank you guys for being in this little debate and it's a little settled down from what it was earlier. I promise after the filming here, I'll try to make sure that they don't kill each other because they are good friends in real life. But just thank you guys for being on Geek Stance. And this has been 3 Geek Stance on Captain America Civil War. Thank you for watching.